So, good afternoon everyone. We are the group 5 and our topic is all about comprehension skills and dimension and teaching comprehension. So, let us begin. So first, let us define what is comprehension. Comprehension, according to Merriam-Webster, is the action grasping with the intellect. So in simple words, it is the understanding. So here are some words that associate with comprehension. I am thinking, I am seeing, I am wondering, I am noticing, and I am feeling. Next, let us know what is reading comprehension. Reading comprehension is the process that requires both interaction and involvement with the written text. As a result, the reader extract and construct meaning at the same time. So, it also the ability to read text, process it, and understand its meaning. So, there are also language comprehension. It is being able to understand the meaning of the words and the sentence. So next, differences between comprehension and vocabulary. So, comprehension is different from vocabulary because vocabulary is focused on the meaning of individual words. It also refers to the word that we must understand to communicate effectively. So, vocabulary enhances and support reading and increases comprehension. So, student must explicitly taught words and vocabulary learning strategies. Next, comprehension is the most difficult of the 5 critical reading skills because comprehension relies heavily on the 4 critical skills. So the 4 critical skills are critical thinking, creative thinking, communicating, and collaborating. So any of these 4 critical thinking skills can be a big challenges if the child don't learn any of this, and it will probably lead to can impede the comprehension of the student or can prevent comprehension. However, it does not mean that a reading teacher should wait until the child grow up to teach comprehension. Teacher must teach them until they develop their comprehension using different strategies that suit to their learning styles. So next, according to Neil Duke and Daniel Person, Reading Resources wrote in 2001, young children are developing as readers when they are able to understand, interpret, and critique what they read. So as an elementary teacher, children must learn first how to comprehend. In that way, students can be a good reader that can interpret information of the different texts and readings. So next, according to research, comprehension taught as children begin to identify letters and sounds they added. So, teaching students how to talk. So parents or caregivers should not baby talk because the baby like saying poo poo, wee wee, it may lead to having a defective speech or can impede their vocabulary. So don't baby talk your baby because it can impede their comprehension or it can defect their speech capability. So here are some simple analysis of comprehension breaks the concept into 5 levels. The 5 levels are literal, interpretive, critical, integrative, and creative. So, literal level. Literal comprehension is the meaning of specific information given directly in the text. So there is no additional information or understanding offered at this level. It's just a simple facts and knowledge. So pupils' activities at the literal level usually very simple and does not ask for readers' opinion or ideas. So it is very literal. Next, noting details. Pupils search for facts or specific information to show their knowledge. So here are some diagrams noting details. So the main idea, detail 1, detail 2, detail 3. So in that way, the information shows that it is very specific and well detailed. Next is sequencing events. Pupils arrange information orderly with organized pattern and system. So, example, first, second, third, fourth, in order to organize their information orderly. And lastly, associating quotation with the speakers usually connects speakers with their words or writer with the published lines. So, for example, the quote, "If you get tired, learn to rest, not to quit." There is a quotation that usually connect to the speaker or the words of the speaker or the writer published a book, or the author of that book. It should indicate quotations.
So next we have the interpretive level. Interpretive level goes beyond direct and specific facts and tries to enhance or enrich the meaning of the text. Pupils are able to read beyond the literal words on the pages and find understanding. Pupils may need to collect information from several different locations or sources before they can reach an interpretive level. They use an important skill called inferring. When students infer, they think beyond the text to find meaning. Your textbook also calls this the inferential level or interpretative reading. Here we have the getting the main idea. Getting the main idea is a key to understanding what you have read. Pupils scan a text to decide on the main idea. This is when the students gathers the main points of the text. So next, we have making inferences. Pupils use the information they have about the text to decide on the opinion of the author, the reasons for character actions or other features of the text. Making inferences is a comprehension strategy used by proficient readers to read between the lines, make connections, and draw conclusions about the text meanings and purpose. So we have these predicting outcomes. Pupils use the information they know about the plot to predict what will happen next in the story. This activity is sometimes difficult to use with non-fiction stories. Making predictions is also a valuable strategy to improve reading comprehension. Next is we have the identifying cause and effect relationship. Pupils identify events that triggers other events and match cause with effects. Identifying cause and effect relationship helps students focus on two important elements of comprehension: what happens in the story and why it happened. This is a common activity in language classes and history classes. We have drawing conclusions and generalizations. Pupils decide through reason or deduce or infer a statement that describes the text. A similar task asks to make a general statement about the text or a rule that is true for the text and the real life. Many values lessons conclude with this activity. Next, we have summarizing. Pupils abbreviate or condense or shorten a text without losing critical details or events. Any activity that asks pupils to retell a story is usually asking for a summary. Working at the interpretive level is an improvement over the literal level because it gives teachers a better idea of how well a pupil understands. Knowing facts from a story won't be enough to answer questions at the interpretive level. Pupils will need to assemble those facts before they can answer. And now we are done with interpretive level. Next, we go through critical level. Critical level begins to draw in the pupil skills in evaluation and using their opinions to form answers. Questions of the critical level ask pupils to make judgments, give ideas, or to analyze the characters or writer and their goals. The truthfulness, the style, and pattern of the text are the possible target at the critical level. We have evaluating the author's style and purpose. Pupils give their opinion on the writing style or analyzing the author's reason for writing. We have here distinguishing facts from opinions and etc. Pupils analyze materials from the text to determine if it is true or if it represents a viewpoint. Pupils give their own evaluation to the text that they have read. Working at a critical level of comprehension is an essential skill for learners at any age, and it has the benefit of showing the teacher the depth of a pupil's understanding. In interpretive level of comprehension, it's all about finding meanings and understanding of the text, while in critical level of comprehension, it's all about making judgments, making evaluations, giving opinions and ideas about the text.
Now let's move on to integrative level. Integrative level requires pupils to connect personally to a text or between texts. So this level is more on reading comprehensions or developing imaginations through reading. Readers with strong reading skills can use knowledge to connect their own ideas, and pupils' creativity and emotions are necessary because as we read a story or other texts, our emotions are being affected by the story's plot or like the emotions of the characters involved in a story. So relating previous ideas with new ones, pupils connect their past reading experiences or life experiences to ideas present in a text. Then associating reading with self and life. As we all know, if we read a story or watch a movie or a story, we empathize ourselves with the characters involved in a story and like do things that they do in a story, or like we copy their lifestyle to our real life situations. Now, flashbacks and imaginations are necessary on this level, even though it only uses reading skills. Even though it also is a reading integrative level which uses reading skills, we also can create ideas or like lessons to learn even if we are only reading a story or a text. Next is a good reading teacher finds a way to show the relationship between written words and real life experiences or like situations. If connected, students will show great interest in reading. So we have to pick a story that will entertain or like make our students or pupils empathize or like understand the story and the characters involved in it. Integrative level sometimes intimidating because, as I said earlier, you have to know the theme or best title of the story you will be reading in front of the students. It is also intimidating because integrative level shifts from focus away from specific facts and right or wrong answers. Now, we move on to creative level. Creative level. Creative level is the last and highest level of comprehension. Readers sees new ideas, insights from the textual material, like the integrative level. They are basing from the text or stories. Pupils use their understanding of the text to fuel their own creative efforts, text or not. So, illustrating ideas and events. Integrative level or skills will be also applied in this level. Sometimes they can create their own story, or either long or short, based from reading or their imagination. So, making new sequels of a story. Readers continue the text, extend the plot, or add content as they like, or give twist to the story, or like create their own conclusion. As I said earlier, in the integrative level, students are open to create their own conclusion based from the story given. So, working at the creative level is a good way to exercise concepts or ideas in a text. Sequels and illustrations are good ways to show understanding, but pupils might wander from the author's original goals. So, regardless, pupils who can respond to questions or participate in activities at the creative level reach a very high degree of comprehension. The next reporter will be discussing about the teaching comprehension.
So, let's proceed to the teaching comprehension. The levels of comprehension give us some guidance on activities to select or question to ask, and what degree of comprehension will be involved. So, these are not strategies or methods of teaching, and sometimes these are not involved in the teaching process. So we have the 6 main types of comprehension strategies according to the authors Stephanie Harvey and Anne Goodricks. From the book entitled Strategies That Work, Teaching Comprehension to Enhance Understanding. So these comprehension strategies are the set of steps that good readers use to make sense of text. So this will help the students to become purposeful, active readers who are in control of their own reading comprehension. So we have the 6 main types of comprehension strategies. The first type is making connections or make connections. So this comprehension strategy helps the students to make meaning of what they are reading, and when the students will make connections to the text that they are reading, it will help them to make sense and understand of what they are reading. So for example, the readers connect the topic or information to what pupils already know about themselves, about other texts, or about the world. So in making connections, it is sometimes called relevance, because we have to find the relevance of the topics, relevance of text to some other text. So let's proceed to the second type of comprehension strategies. It is by asking questions or ask questions. So this comprehension strategy helps the students to clarify and comprehend of what they are reading. So the students will think critically of what is the purpose of the author in writing the text. So the readers ask about the text, look for the reactions to it, and try to determine the author author's purpose in writing that specific text. So the third type of comprehension strategy is the visualize or visualizing. So it refers to our ability to create pictures in our minds based on the text we read. So we can create or portray an image or picture at the back of our minds because we can imagine different things or objects based on what we are reading. So, for example is, the readers make a movie of the story in their minds to make the printed words real.
Determine text importance. Distinguish between important points and interesting points. Distinguish between facts and fiction. Determine the cause and effect relationships. Compare and contrast ideas. Look for themes, opinions, or viewpoints. Find problems and solutions, and identify the step in a process. The other one is make inferences. Readers combine text clues with other knowledge to answer questions about main themes or topics. Making an inference involves using what you know to make a guess about what you don't know or reading between the lines. Readers who make inferences use the clues in the text along with their own experiences to help them figure out what is not directly said, making the text personal and memorable. Lastly is synthesize. Readers combine new information with other knowledge to create their own ideas, new ways of thinking, or new creations. Synthesizing information is the way that students can take information from multiple sources and bring the information together. When these sources are combined together, it creates one cohesive idea. This is typically how students learn new ideas, theories, and information in class.